Boogity boo.
Is it recording?
Yeah.
Okay. Godzilla versus the first monster that I, actually really like. Mothra.
Alright.
And your favorite, right?
Yeah, Mothra is my favorite monster. This movie's called Mothra versus Godzilla, but the American release, which we watched, was called Godzilla versus the Thing.
And it's true. Mothra is a thing.
Yeah. They're all things.
Yeah.
I guess. Quick little story behind that. Mothra had her own movie a couple years prior to the release of this. And that actually did make, an English release. It got dubbed and everything. So when they brought Mothra vs. Godzilla over here, they were like, well, movies can't be connected like that. So let's call it Godzilla vs. the Thing, so people don't think this giant moth is the same giant moth from that other movie. Even though they call her Mothra in the movie anyway. So, really, what did they accomplish there? I don't know. Nothing.
It seems like Universal in this era seemed to, make a
this
lot
one
of decisions.
I don't think that was Universal.
Oh.
I think Universal only did King Kong versus Godzilla.
That makes sense considering that King Kong was owned by Universal. That makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway. The plot of this movie is actually, it's probably the best plot in a Godzilla movie thus far.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Opinion. It starts... by the way, yeah, spoilers. I'm going to spoil the entire movie right now. So... it starts off an egg. It's Mothra's egg. It washes up on the shore in Japan. And then this wealthy business owner buys the egg. And he has a plan of, charging people to come and observe it and do scientific studies on it and whatnot. These two little fairies...
They were like my favorite part of the movie.
They're two twin fairies.
Get back the egg! Get back the egg!
Return the egg! Please return the egg!
They talk in unison with the same voice. They were actually played by two older musicians from the 60s.
Oh, I did not know that.
It was a group of just them. Yeah. They actually return and play the fairies again several times.
That's awesome.
They're called the Peanuts.
Were they in the Mothra movie originally?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, sweet, the Peanuts.
Yeah, we'll have to look them up. Anyway. So the fairies come to the wealthy business owner, who, by the way, is a fucking asshole. He's like Japanese Hitler.
Because he's got the mustache.
Yeah, he does. He has the Hitler stash.
There's also his business partner or whatever.
Yeah. I think his business partner's kind of the one that's running everything.
Yeah, but he's not the public face.
Yeah, he's not
He doesn't have a mustache, so he can't be the public face.
Yeah, he's not the most hateable one, in my opinion.
I think he's equally hateable.
I guess so. But anyway. Yeah, so the business owners, obviously, they don't listen to the fairies, so they don't return the egg back to Mothra. And the fairies escape, and they go to our main characters, whom I don't remember the names of.
Yeah, there was two dudes and a girl.
There's reporter guy who reports things. There's photographer girl. She's the girl. And then there's...
Molasses Mouth?
Yeah, Molasses Mouth. He's the guy that, they got somebody to dub him who, I guess, just decided he really wanted to eat a whole bag of, marshmallows or something that day on set. I don't know what's going on with him. You can hardly understand him because he's mumbling everything.
I think they were going for a Humphrey Bogart type thing, but, the thing that people like about Humphrey Bogart is that you can understand him with that voice.
Yeah.
You could not understand this. That's the primary reason people liked Humphrey Bogart. They're like, yeah, there's a guy I can understand.
Yeah.
No. Sorry. But yeah, so we got these three heroes, I guess.
They're there.
Well, they are the ones who they work with the fairies to bring Mothra about to.
The fairies come and find them in the woods, and they're like, "Hey, you guys should help us get the egg back because you guys are humans, right?" And
you guys are bigger than us.
They're like, "Well, I guess we'll help you." And so, they try. They go in there with the rich business owner. They take the fairies in there, and they're pleading with them. Yeah, return this egg. We're fucking with forces that we don't quite understand.
Yeah.
And of course they're like, no, we're gonna make money off of this. By the way, we'll buy those little girls off of you. So they storm out.
Them little girls.
They storm out of the place, and Mothra and the fairies are upset because the humans couldn't help them, and they leave. And then Godzilla shows up.
Where did he come from again?
He just came out of the ground.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of where he ended up in Godzilla vs. King Kong.
Oh, he just fell into the water. Remember, they
That's right.
They tumbled into the water together, and then King Kong walked away.
And he literally swam back to Skull Island.
Yeah, he just swam back.
So Godzilla's like, guess what? I'm in this movie for no fucking reason. Just like, I mean, he's the appeal is the monster's gonna fight Godzilla.
Right.
But just like in King Kong, he was like, sup bitches, not really that integral to the plot. While Mothra and King Kong.
At least in King Kong versus Godzilla, they showed the iceberg from Godzilla Raids Again getting hit.
Yeah.
But in this one, he just comes out of the fucking ground with no explanation. Anyway.
We still think this is the best one so far.
Yeah. Still. Godzilla aside, I think the human plot is pretty interesting.
Oh, I was fine with evil corporate businessman, and we got our three heroes. Even though out of the three of them, they formed one interesting character.
I completely agree. So the heroes go to Mothra Island, and there's natives there that are not in blackface this time.
They're in red face.
Yes. They plead with the natives, hey, let us talk to your god Mothra. We need her to fight Godzilla. And the natives are like, absolutely not. So they run in there, and they into this garden place. It's like a little jungle garden on this island, I guess. And Mothra's in there, and the little fairy girls are in there, and they're pleading with the fairies, hey, we tried to help you. Let us use Mothra to fight Godzilla. And the fairies are like, no, fuck you guys. You're humans. We hate all humans now because you didn't help us.
Were the natives not human?
What? That's what I'm saying.
They never said humans. They said your people.
Yeah, your people. Well, whatever.
It felt weird. I don't know.
Anyway, that's what I was getting at, was that it did feel weird. They did try to help. They obviously tried to help you, and you're just treating them like shit.
They did change their mind after.
They did. After she gives the most generic speech ever about, hey, we're all humans. Some of us are good. Some of us are bad. Come on, let's use your giant monster to fight our giant monster.
And then she's like, oh, you convinced me.
Yeah.
And then they went with that whole... they were singing... I don't know, the fairies are singing. Because, they're a band. The Peanuts. Yeah. And Mothra comes out and is like, fuck you, Godzilla. And then Godzilla's like, fuck you. And there's some interesting fights.
Oh, it's weird. It's a weird fight.
Oh, there's so many close-ups.
Yeah, it's a lot of weird close-ups and shaky cam, right on Godzilla and Mothra's faces.
Yeah, it makes you feel a little sick.
Yeah.
Not as good as King Kong, I would say. That was one of the greatest fights I've ever witnessed.
It had a much better fight.
Oh, I love that fight. But, so, unfortunately, Mothra gets injured.
Mm-hmm.
Mothra goes over to her egg. She's all like, avenge me. Godzilla's fucking up shit in the background. And then these larva things come out of the egg.
Mm-hmm.
And they use their cocoon spinneret web slinging abilities. And they just start fucking with Godzilla. And he's like, fucking stop it. And they're like, no, you killed our mom. Prepare to fucking die. And yeah, it's just kind of hilarious, but like also kind of understandable.
Yeah,
Like you're like, yeah, they're pissed off that their mom's dead.
absolutely.
But
And Godzilla can't do anything about this shit. He is so covered in this web stuff that he's stuck together like a rock.
yeah,
He's like a statue.
literally like it's kind of like a spider's web.
Yeah.
And they just wrap him all up, and he gets all wrapped up in this web and falls in the water. And then the monsters escape to Mothra Island. The Mothra larva, the babies. They look more like caterpillars than moths. They escape, and the movie abruptly ends.
Yeah.
It feels
as soon as the fight between all the monsters is over, the movie just ends. Like
no real resolution. And
I mean, Godzilla did kill the bad humans. He stepped on them.
Oh yeah, didn't one of them kill the other one too?
Yeah, the
mustache man killed the non-mustache man.
Right, one of them had a gun or something, and then they beat each other up. It was long and drawn out, and there wasn't any music. It was kind of awkward. A lot of these. This isn't just a Godzilla movie thing. A lot of Japanese movies around this time period did not use music when scenes would have really benefited from having music in them. And it just kind of results in really awkward scenes, in my opinion. This movie has a couple, not nearly as bad as some other ones, but they're in there.
Even as someone who's, as a composer, I can actually see some merit to, like, a lack of music makes people uncomfortable. And sometimes you can use that to your advantage, especially if you're doing a very disturbing or awkward scene that you want to come across that way. Or really down-to-earth or real or something like that. But these scenes do just feel empty. And the fact that they haven't exactly aged too well adds to that, too. The plot of this one was the best one. I don't know if it was the best movie, because King Kong was up there. The fights in King Kong were fantastic. This one I took the most seriously. It had fucking little fairies that sang Mothra, and I still took it way more seriously than the other ones.
Yeah. This one is a lot of people's favorite. And I mean, I can understand why.
It was a great film.
It's the first Versus movie that's like, you can take it seriously.
Godzilla vs. King Kong was fantastic, but I did not take it seriously.
Right. It was funny movie.
Yeah.
And then Godzilla Raids Again is just,
That one's also a funny movie.
Yeah.
And then English Godzilla 1, Gojira 1, whatever you want to call it, the first movie in the American version.
Right.
It's just shit.
Yeah. But anyway.
What's next?
Ghidorah.
Yeah! That's my favorite. Ghidorah's my favorite. You can't get better than an alien Hydra.
All right. What'd you think of Mothra versus Godzilla in a nutshell?
I loved it. It was fun. It was fun. It had a good plot. The fight scenes were weird. A lot of the action was portrayed in a weird way, but it wasn't necessarily a bad way. The human characters were not bad. They were interesting enough to keep me hooked for that 2-hour period. Thought it ended really fucking weird, but it was a good film. I loved watching it.
Yeah, I completely agree with everything you just said. So, this is probably one of the Godzilla movies I've seen most out of all of them. This is one of them that I watched over and over again as a kid. That said, yeah, it probably is one of the best. I can see why I watched it a lot as a kid. The whole aspect of the island and everything, it just something about it like kind of haunted me as a kid. Like there's the songs that they sing, like there's a lot of tribal songs in this movie, and some of them are kind of unnerving.
Yeah.
And yeah, watching this as a kid, I remember it kind of creeping me out. So this movie's pretty neat. Yeah, give it a watch. I highly recommend it. All right. See you later.
Good night.